We'll have focus in the cloud thanks to MIMICPC. So basically we'll create an account. You'll find the link in the description. This tool lets us have and rent cloud servers with the tools we want. In this case, we want the focus tool, so we'd search for it, then click add new application on this blue button, and now we can find it here. Not sure why it's not showing, but it's here. We'd click start up, and from here we can choose the version. Though in this case there's only one version available, we can pick which server we want, and as you see the cost is quite low, considering that a server like this, or rather a work tool of this kind, might normally cost us between, well, it can cost us a fortune, because at most we have 32 GB of RAM and 48 GB of VRAM, which is insane. So we can start from 25 cents per hour with this bargain option that basically ensures resources are sufficient and will be available as long as resources are adequate and has a low chance of being interrupted. They show us the available time, which is 1 hour and 57 minutes. Since our balance is 49 cents, we'll start with 50 cents if you want to try it. If not, we'll need to add more balance. We have options like a reminder for long sessions, auto stop, and more. So we click create and start, then proceed, and it gives us a warning. I don't recommend disabling the warning. Now, as you can see, it's in my applications, and MIMICPC will start using the focus feature. Focus is an open source tool we can use on our computer, but if we don't have enough processing power to run it, because our computer isn't powerful enough, it's no problem. We can use it through MIMICPC. We'll just wait the minute and a half or 6 minutes it tells us to wait. As you see on the right, there are tutorials about focus provided by MIMICPC. I don't recommend watching tutorials while this is running, as it'd waste money. But as you see, we have the file section here. It started with models and more, and now as you can see, we have the focus tool ready to generate anything. Let's hit generate, it'll start running, and you'll see it begin to generate. I want you to see it work since we have this free trial. And there, as you can see, it starts generating. I've asked it to make pumpkins for me. That's how simple it is to use focus in the cloud without complication. How to use Face Fusion in the cloud without going through the complex process of obtaining and coding. These open source programs are currently quite complicated to set up on your computer. I don't know why they don't simplify it. It could be easier, but they prefer these complex methods through MIMICPC, link in description. Click add new application. This tool is basically a very affordable server rental, one of the best I've seen. Here you'll find Face Fusion and other similar tools, with more being added regularly. Simply click start application once you've found Face Fusion. As you can see, we can choose versions. The best one is marked with a green tick. From here we can select servers. Choose whichever one you prefer. For example, I'll choose bargain, which basically means that as long as resources are sufficient and a server is available, we can use it. They do recommend that in the long run we don't use these types of servers. They tell us how much time we have based on our chosen cost. As you can see, I have a balance of 48 cents, so I have 1 hour 55 minutes, but they're charging 25 cents per hour. Here we can set how long we want to use the tool to avoid exceeding our balance, and we can set different configurations like a reminder, an automatic stop, and more. Once we're ready, we click create start, then proceed. We'll start with 50 cents of testing credit, so you can test it yourself without any issues and see if it meets your requirements or not. As you can see, the server will take about 1.5 to 6 minutes to start. There's no cost to start the server, no extra charge. These minutes passing don't count against us. They won't bill us for this time. Once the server's ready, we'll wait. And there's my server. We have Face Fusion here, the Face Fusion tool. We could easily upload the file, the target, and we've got the whole tool right here. For those who know what it is, here it is. It's that simple. If we're done, we can extend or stop. As you can see, we don't just have access to Face Fusion, but to all the tools and everything available. You know, this is next level, so yeah, perfect. How can we get Auto 1111 in the cloud? This whip UI Forge. How can we use it in the cloud? We know obtaining it is really complicated. There are sketchy methods we often don't trust. So this tool called MIMICPC, which you'll find in the description, lets us connect easily to this type of software and to various tools, not just this one. There are about 20 more, almost 30. So basically we're going to start, we'll click on add new application. We'll search for Auto 1111 or look for it here. Let's see if it appears. Seems this search engine isn't working well, or it's slow to load. Probably because I didn't accept cookies due to Brave Shields more than anything. So we simply click start, okay? To launch the application, you'll see a green tick showing if it's the best version, and latest indicates it's the most recent version. So as you can see, we have 3 versions available. we'll use the default one that's provided, and we can choose what type of server we want. If we want a server for 0.25 cents per hour, which basically uses the bargain method. It ensures the server runs when resources suffice. The server will function, but there's a small chance of interruption. It's cost effective. You pay half the price but have lower priority than full price users. As you see, we can go from 16 to 48 via RAM. It's really quite impressive. Here we can set how long we want to use it. As you see, we start with 50 cents balance. Let's say I want to start with just 1 hour and only spend these 25 cents. We'd set it to 1 hour and 0 minute. Then we'd have the automatic extension or settings to stop or extend as needed. That's the process of using this tool. So we click create, as I just did. Basically what MIMICPC is going to start doing is, for about 1.5 to 6 minutes, it's going to set up the server so that we can use it. As you can see on the right, we have all the folders just like we would if using Auto 1111 on our own computer. We'd need access to these folders in case we want to upload some or even move it to our PC, which we can do. This process won't use any of our budget within the application. It's just setting up the machine, that's all. This setup isn't part of the rental and won't be charged. Now we just need to wait. After waiting a while, the launching begins. It usually doesn't take long to start the server, and there we have it. The whole tool is ready. Even if we look at checkpoints, which are essentially the models, we have access to all the models. If we were doing this locally, well, I don't want to tell you how much space you'd need for this, but probably many gigabytes and a lot of patience downloading each file. Here it's all done for you, which is great. So yeah, we have everything here: text to image, image to image, spaces, everything. So that's how this tool works. We hit stop to end the server, and that's about it. How can we use configure.ai in the cloud with MIMICPC? Right, it can be quite complex to run these open source AI tools locally on our computers, can't it? But cloud-based server rental services are obviously servers that allow us access to not just the tool, but all its models as well. So if configure.ai has a model like Stable Diffusion version 1.5, which is the default model, we can actually use any model we want, and it comes preloaded with all models already in the tool. You'll find the link in the description. We'll start with 50 cents credit for testing. Let's hit start new application. Okay, to start a new application, click start up here in configure.ai. As you can see, it looks great right off the bat because we can choose any version. Doing this on GitHub might be trickier, but let's go with version 3.12, which is their recommendation. The green tick marks the best quality version, while latest is the most recent. Here we can choose our server type, ranging from 16 VRAM to 48 VRAM with 64 GB RAM. Naturally, the price increases with better specs. I'll select bargain, which means we might not always have server access. Our session could be interrupted, but it's half the price in exchange. Personally, I think it's worth it. They say interruptions are rare in this mode, which is good. For example, here it shows the $1/hour bargain is unavailable. So basically we have different configurations here. It says I have 1 hour 50 minutes from my completed project balance, and gives us various settings based on reminders, time tracking, auto stop, and so on, right? So we click create, start, then proceed, and as you'll see in MIMICPC, it'll start preparing the machine. Okay, on the right side you can see we have access to all folders of the project we're running, and they ask us to wait between 1.5 to 6 minutes for setup, so that's what we'll do. And there, as you can see, the tool is starting to initialize. We're not doing anything, but just to show you it works and to blow your mind with the fact that we have access to all models. So the server has started. As you can see, it's loading. Here we have the checkpoint with all the models and such. It's got all the models, okay? In other words, we have access to, well, everything. We have access to everything. So it's that simple. When we want to stop the server, we just hit stop, okay? And that's it. Let's look for Invoke AI in the cloud, as getting such open source tools on our own computer can be complicated, complex, or even unaffordable due to our device limitations. So using a server rental tool can be a great choice. Enter MIMICPC, linked in the description. We'll start with 50 cents balance. Basically, we'll click add new version, search for Invoke AI, hit start application, and in the startup process, as you see, we can choose the version, either the best or the latest, and select our preferred server type. We can go from 16 GB to 48 GB of VRAM and use the bargain option. Bargain essentially allows us to use an available server, but without priority access. This means if someone willing to pay for instant access needs the server, we'll have to so to speak, take a back seat and be temporarily kicked out of our session. There are various settings here about whether we want our session to end automatically after a certain time. They provide info on how long we can use this tool based on our balance and other factors. Once we've set everything up, we click Create and Start to proceed and access Invoke AI. We'll have to wait anywhere from 1.5 to 6 minutes. I should mention that these minutes won't be charged. They're part of the wait, so we'll just wait a bit. As you can see, everything's set up. We're practically at the launch. On the right, we have folder access, just like on our own computer. There we have our fully functional Invoke AI tool. I've never used this tool, but we can access all sections. In Select Model, we can choose Diffusion or other generation variation. I'm exploring the tool, which helps understand and test it before server setup. To stop the server, just hit Stop Confirm and we're done. Alright, since we're dealing with Swarm UI, an AI tool, it can be complex, even risky, to try and obtain such tools locally. Before getting them locally, we might want to test them first, instead of going through a tedious process to obtain them. If we don't have the tool or server available, MIMICPC, linked in the description, is the solution. We'll start with a 50-cent balance and add a new application. MIMICPC lets us rent servers. Let's see how it works. We'll go to the tool we want, in this case Swarm UI, and click Add or Start Application. As you can see, we can choose between the best version, the latest, and even pre-releases, and we'll be able to select what would be the server here. The server can start at 25 cents per hour, which is the wargame style. Basically, we can use these servers when no one's in an instant game. As long as servers are available, we can use them for half the price. We go from 16 GB VRAM to 48 GB VRAM, which is crazy with 32 GB of RAM. Then we have the settings, where we can set how long we want to use the tool. Here we've set 30 minutes, but we can use it up to 145 based on my balance. Here we can configure various options like a reminder, which is a notification. We can set an automatic stop after a certain time, an auto time extension, and more. Then we'll click Create, hit Proceed, and now I'll show you how to access the tool. We'll need to wait between 1.5 to 6 minutes for the tool setup and to see that the tool is actually functional, so let's wait a bit. Don't worry, they won't charge us for this waiting time. After a short wait, we now have access to Swarm WI with all its features. Look, we have all the BAEs, access to all models. See how many there are. On a PC, we'd need to load models one by one, but here we have direct access to different BAEs. No LoRa's yet, but we can upload them here, plus folders and more. When we're done, we just hit Stop Confirm, and that ends our server session. It's that simple. How can we use the Omnigen tool in the cloud? Let's say we're not fortunate enough to have a device where we can use Omnigen, or simply obtaining it is so complicated and arduous, the coding process and all that we prefer to directly use a cloud server or use it through another fully configured machine with all the models and everything. Well, MIMICPC is what you're looking for, okay? It's a server rental service that gives us 50 cents to start, where basically what we'll do, well, you'll find it in the description. We're going to add a new application, and what we'll do is basically search for the tool we want. In this case, we want Omnigen, this image generation tool. We click Start Application. They'll let us choose the version, okay? As you can see, they give us access to the best version, marking it as such. The latest version offers access to various servers, with Larch Pro being the minimum server, okay? In other tools, the minimum server costs about 0.25 cents per hour. I assume the minimum requirements for this tool are much higher, so they don't allow access to smaller servers. Basically, what we'll be doing is accessing the, well, I haven't explained bargain mode yet, but essentially it allows us to use resources when there are enough available servers and no one is using instant mode. We can use bargain mode without issues, okay? However, our connection might be cut. If someone's willing to pay double, alright, our connection will be terminated, right? So here we have different settings for how long we want to spend. You can set it, well, we can set a minimum of 5 minutes. There's an automatic extension if we're unsure about the time we need, and if we need more, it can be extended further. Just to note, they'll charge us for the time we use, not what we set here, okay? So I'm going to click Create, alright? I'll hit Proceed so you can see that you can use the tool without any issues. Basically, what we'll be doing is waiting for this 1.5 or 6 minutes that they make us wait initially. Just to clarify, they won't charge us for this 1.5, obviously, okay? On the right, we have access to different folders, alright? Which we'd have in the normal open source version, okay? So we'll just wait, and as we can see, Omnigen is now available, right? We can upload images, enter prompts, and access all settings, okay? The generate image button. Here we have some examples and other features. Now we have full access to the tool. It's as simple as that. When we're done, we click Stop and Confirm, I hope you enjoyed it. How can we use Story Diffusion in the cloud? It can be complicated, and our computer might not allow us to use Story Diffusion locally or other tools. For this, services like MIMICPC exist, which you'll find in the description. These are basically server rental services where we can click on Add New Application. We're starting with 50 cents of credit. What we'll do is search for the tool we want to use, in this case, Story Diffusion, then click Start Application, and as we'll see, they let us choose the version. They also let us pick the server type. I'll choose the cheapest. Basically, bargain means the server's available when no one's paying for instant access. It also shows our available time based on our balance. Here we have various settings like reminders, auto stop, and more. We click Create, Start, then Proceed, and it'll take about a minute, maybe 6 to process. Just to note, we're not charged for this processing time. On the right, we have all folders as if this tool was on our own computer. Now we simply wait. After a brief wait, Story Diffusion is ready with all available models. Now we have the fully functional tool ready for generation and more. So I hope you found this helpful. When we're done, we click Stop. To close this menu, we click here, and that's it. How can we use the RVC tool in the cloud? These open source tools might be great, but even if we can use them locally, the system requirements might be too high, or we may not have a PC solely for this. So cloud or server options are appealing. That's where tools like MIMICPC come in, which we're looking at now. You'll find the link in the description. It's a server rental service that essentially allows us to use these kinds of tools via a server. We'll click Add New App and search for RVC. As you can see, it has many more tools. RVC is a video generation tool, so it's under that category. Let's click Start Application. From here, we can choose the best and most recent version. As you can see, servers range from 16 to 48 RAM, starting at 25 cents per hour. In bargain mode, bargain means we can use this tool when no one else is using the server, so we'll have different configurations available. You'll start with a 50-cent credit to test it yourself. We have settings like auto extension, auto stop, and reminders. If we want to limit usage to 30 minutes, we can set that here. Click Create and Start, then proceed to set up the server. So after a while, in about a minute and a half to 6 minutes, we'll be able to use and access the tool without any issues. Just to let you know, we won't be charged for this initial setup time. So we'll just wait for a bit. After waiting, as you can see, we now have the RBC tool here. We have full access to everything this tool offers. And that's it. It's that simple. On the right, we have folders and everything like in an open source environment. When we're done using this tool, we'll just hit stop. We'll confirm yes, and that's it. I hope you found this helpful. How can we use the Halo tool in the cloud? Okay, well, the Halo tool on our computer might be too heavy or require too much processing power for us to use it comfortably. So how can we use this tool? Basically, we can use it in the cloud with a server, right? And this is what MIMICPC does. MIMICPC gives us access to server tools, okay? It lets us use cloud servers for a small fee, okay? As you can see, they're giving us a 50-cent credit now. So we're just going to look for the tool we want to use, which is Halo. And we click Start Application, and they'll let us choose between the best and latest tool. As you can see, in this case, they're the same, and they'll offer us different types of servers. In other words, depending on the tool, you might not need such a powerful server, allowing us to use cheaper servers, right? In this case, we start at 50 cents per hour, okay? 50 cents an hour. But some servers start at 25 cents. We choose bargain, which lets us use an available server, but we wait if none are free. So if no server's available, we'll have to wait. Got it? So let's click on more options here. We can set auto extension, which is 30 minutes by default. We can also set auto stop, reminders, and more. We'll hit create and start, then proceed, and wait about a minute for the tool to start up. They won't charge us for this waiting time, of course, so we're just going to wait for now. As you can see, the Halo tool has started. Here we can upload images, audio, and more, okay? We have access to all tools without any issues, right? We can hit submit and generate to get the output. It's really that simple. I hope you found this helpful. On the right, we have folders and other options. To stop the server, hit stop, confirm, and you're done. Thank you very much. How can we use Roop Unleashed in the cloud without needing a local setup? Our device might not be powerful enough to run it, but we still want to use this tool. Services like MIMICPC offer cloud servers for this. You'll find the link in the description. We'll start with 50 cents credit. To try it, click Add New Application and search for the one you want. For Roop Unleashed, a face swap tool, click Start Application. It shows the latest version and hardware spec. Will enable Embar Game, which ensures server availability when resources are sufficient and temporarily restricts access if they're not. Here we have various settings to automatically close or stop the server, set reminders, and more. Let's click Create and Start to proceed. As you can see, the costs are incredibly low. starting at just 25 cents per hour. Now we'll wait about 1.5 to 6 minutes for the setup to initialize. Don't worry, these setup minutes won't be charged, we just need to wait. Now we have the server running with face swap, face management, extras, and we can even modify the configuration. Everything we do will be saved in a project, of course, and we have full access to it all. It's that simple to access this powerful tool. On the right, we'll even see the files. To stop the server, just click stop, confirm, and it's done. How can we access the diffusion pipe tool in the cloud? It might be tedious to set it up locally, or our system might not support running it, right, on our own computer. So the only solution is to use a cloud server. In the description, you'll find a link to MIMICPC, a site offering server rental services. They're constantly adding new tools to the ones you're seeing. Let's search for the diffusion pipe tool, okay? We'll click on launch application. As you can see, they let us choose between different versions. For this tool, there's only one version available, alright? The best and most recent one. As you can see, while other tools might cost 0.25 cents per hour, here, the cheapest option is 0.49, okay? Which operates under the bargain system. Bargain means we can use the server as long as no one else is willing to pay a higher instant price, right? As you can see, it's green, indicating low demand. So we'll set it up next, okay? We'll start with 50 cents credit, alright? We have auto extension, configuration options, auto stop, and a reminder. Once ready, we'll click create, okay? I'll show you how we can use this diffusion pipe tool without any issues. On the right, you can see the models folder and all the information. So now we just wait. The waiting time shown here won't be charged to us, as stated. And there we have the server starting. As you can see, the 30-minute timer has begun. We now have access to the entire tool, okay? Everything is available. Once we're done, we'll simply stop it. Remember, the project will be saved, okay? We'll keep the project. We can access it within MIMICPC, alright? We'll go to the section in my apps, okay? As you can see, I can access it from here, and that's it. It's that simple. How can we use the iToolkit tool in the cloud? We might not have access due to our computer, or because getting it is too complicated, and we just want a service like MIMICPC, which you'll find in the description, which is basically a server rental. So we'll click add new application and search for the tool. Here it is, iToolkit. We click start application, and as you see, there are many more options. They let us choose between versions. There's only one here, and we can pick different servers. There are instant servers, which means we get top priority. As you can see, they charge double for these, or VAR game servers, which we can use if resources are available. We can use this server. As you can see, I have 41 minutes available at this cost, with 50 cents given for free. Here we have various config options like auto extensions, auto stop, reminders, and more. We'll click create, then proceed and start generating our model. Note that the server will start up for about 1.5 to 6 minutes. This startup time isn't charged, and all our work will be saved in MIMICPC. Don't worry, you won't lose progress if time runs out. So here we have the AI toolkit, which includes LoRa and Ease for Flux. Here we can upload files, images, create LoRa, and more. I'll show you the advanced options. Steps, learning rate, and even more steps are available. We simply hit stop. On the right, we have folders as if using it locally. Now to show you it's really saved it. If I go to MIMICPC, AI Toolkit appears in my applications, and I can resume the session we were using. So that's it. It's that simple. How can we use the FluxGem tool in the cloud? It might be that getting it is too complicated, or even though it's OpenRouter, we can't run it on our own computer because it's too heavy or uses too much memory. So basically, we'll use services like MIMICPC, which you'll find linked in the description below. It's essentially a server rental service that gives us access to AI tools. In the tool, we'll click Add New App and search for FluxGem. We'll see FluxGem, click Start App, and choose the version and server type. Here, servers start at 50 cents per hour. Other tools offer lighter, cheaper servers too, and basically, we use the bargain option. The bargain, when it's green and available, allows us to use the server. We don't have priority, so it may cut off, though that's rare when it's green. Getting cut off means our session will be interrupted because the server we're currently using might be claimed by another user who's willing to pay for instant access at double the price. We have options like auto extend, auto stop, reminders, and more. We'd click create to proceed. After that, we wait 1.5 to 6 minutes for the server to start up. Note that we won't be charged for this waiting time. They show it to us right here. On the right side, we have access to all the folders, just as if we were running this OpenRouter on our own computer. Keep in mind that the project we're creating will be saved in MIMICPC under the My Apps section. I have it here in my apps. As you can see, it says operating. So let's wait a bit. After waiting for a short while, we now have access to the Flux gym. As you can see there, we have the VRAM that we can select. In this case, everyone should select their own. We have access to different models and of course the training script and more. Once we're done, we click on stop. We confirm by clicking yes, and that's it. We've finished using this server. It's that simple. How can we use the SS_ tool on a cloud server? We can do this through cloud server rental services like MIMICPC, which we'll link in the description. It's important to note that these services are useful when we can't use these programs on OpenRouter, or when we can't use this type of program either because our server lacks sufficient memory. It's hard to obtain, we don't have access, or other reasons. So basically what we do is access MIMICPC, click add new application, and from all the tools they offer, we'd search for the Kogia tool, select it and click start application. And as you see, it lets us choose the version, in this case the latest one. They use 2 different labels to mark each category. And as you can see, servers here range from 0.25 cents to 12 euros per hour. We'd select bargain, which means we can use servers as long as no one's using instant, which would cost double. Here they show how long we can use based on our balance. They're giving us 50 cents free to test the servers, and we'll just click on more options. Here we can set if we want automatic extension upgrades, auto separation or reminders. Then we'll click create insert, hit proceed, and now we just wait. I should mention that the project, well, the server will take about 1 to 6 minutes to start up, and we won't be charged for this initialization time. On the right, we have all the folders, just like we would if working locally. Also, I want to point out that we'll have access to the project through the application. As you can see, I have one project here and another one there. And I can delete this one if needed. If we need to revisit a project, we'd come back here to the My Apps section, click here, but don't click add new application again, as you've already added it. So let's wait for the server to start up. After a short wait, we now have access to Kogia, as you can see, without any issues. We have access to all these models. Take a look, it's incredible, and here are the image folders and more. So we now have access to the tool. We can use it to train LoRa's and whatever else we want. Obviously, the better the server, the better it will perform. When we're done using the server, we just click stop, confirm yes, and that's it. It's that easy to use this tool. How can we use F5's text-to-speech tool in the cloud? That is, through someone else's server. For this, we can use MIMICPC, which offers rental servers at reasonable prices. You'll find the platform link in the description. So what's this useful for? Well, the tools are open source, true, but it's also true that obtaining them might be tricky or even difficult to access, or maybe our own computer can't run these types of tools, and we just want them for a few hours, right? Maybe 100 or 50 hours, not forever, and it's not worth buying a new computer just for this tool. That's where MIMICPC comes in. We click add new application. In this case, we're looking for the F5 of text-to-speech. So let's search for it. Once we've moved here, we have the F5 of text-to-speech. We'll click start application. As you can see, we have the latest version and various hardware options, different server type. We'll select bargain. Bargain means we can use this server as long as no one else wants to access it. As you see, it's green, meaning it's available. Now that we have this, let's go to the more options section. The servers range from 16 VRAM to 48 VRAM, so we have plenty. The extra settings, we can set how long we want to use it. They show the maximum time we can use based on our balance. They give us 50 cents of balance by default for testing purposes. They provide settings like automatic extension, and an automatic stop, a reminder. We just click create, start, and the server begins to initialize. Let me explain what we'll be doing within this program. As you've seen, to access text-to-speech, we clicked on add new application. This means if I go to my applications now, it'll be there. If I create it again, I'll make another text-to-speech project. So if I want to access my old text-to-speech project with all settings done, I need to go to my app, select text. Now we'll wait about 1.5 to 6 minutes for the setup to complete. They assure us we won't be charged for setup, and on the right side we have access to the project folders as if we were using them in OpenRouter. So we'll just wait a moment, and here we have the text-to-speech fully functional, as you can see, with all the options and features. It's the complete tool itself, allowing us to choose different models and access advanced settings. we have access to everything. So when we're done using it, we can simply hit extend for more time, then stop, confirm, and that's how easy it is to use this tool. How can we use the WhisperWeb UI tool in the cloud without installing it on our computer? Our computer might lack memory or space, and getting an OpenRouter is currently quite difficult. Despite this, we're determined to find a way to use this tool. One solution is to use or rent online servers. Tools like MIMICPC, linked in the description, offer 50 cents of initial credit to test the service. We'll click Add New Application and search for the tool. You'll see various tools, including WhisperWeb UI. We'd click Start Application. As you can see, we can choose from different versions, the best and latest, which are the same in this case. Here you can see the range of servers specifically available for this tool. Prices range from 25 cents to $2 per hour. The server specs go from 16 GB to 48 GB VRAM. Instant gives us top priority, while Bargain doesn't. Our project won't be interrupted with Instant, but it might be with Bargain. Bargain means our server is available if there are enough resources for all users. So, as you can see, I have 1 hour and 7 minutes available based on my current balance. Here we have more settings where I can automatically extend or stop this tool, or even set a reminder. I'll click Create and Start and we'll proceed. It'll take about 1.5 to 6 minutes for the server to start. As you can see, this setup won't charge us anything. On the right, we can view folders as if we were working locally. This is an OpenRouter, and note that the project we're working on here will be saved automatically and stored in the My Applications section. So next time we want to use WhisperWeb UI, we'll access it from here instead of clicking Create New Application, because clicking that would create a new project. So now we're just going to wait for these 6 minutes as requested. After waiting, they'll ask for microphone access, and we'll have the WhisperWeb UI with all its tools. Think of all the models we can use, which locally we'd need to get one by one, plus languages and format. It's simple. When done, hit stop, and that's how easy it is to use this tool. I hope you enjoyed it. How can we use the Chat TTS tool on our computer, but from the cloud? What does that mean? By using another user's server. For this, we can use tools like MIMICPC, which offer server rental services ranging from 25 cents to $2 per hour, depending on the server type and power we want. This allows us to use not just one tool, but all the tools available within this service, within this platform, without going through the process of obtaining OpenRouter. Or maybe our computer simply doesn't have enough capacity or memory to use it. So we're going to search for this text-to-speech. We'll scroll down. As you can see, it's sorted by categories until we reach the Chat TTS in audio generation. We've arrived at Chat TTS. We click Start Application. As you can see, this app only needs 16 subram or more, so we can use it on a server for just 0 to 25 cents an hour. It's worth noting that it's in bargain mode, which means we can use this server as long as no one else is using it or trying to use it in instant mode. If you switch to instant, you don't get top priority. Bargain mode lets you use the server when it's free. If someone else needs it, your session will be stopped. We can use different versions, though there's only one now. Here we have various settings, like having an automatic extension which extends your time after a certain period. By default, it's set to 30 minutes. As you can see, I have 1 hour and 4 minutes available. This is because I have 27 cents balance. Basically, it applies a rule of 3, telling me how much time I have available. We can also set an auto stop or reminder, so we'll create it, we'll proceed, and note this is only for the first time. Once we've created the application, we can access it from My Apps. We'll access it here to the project we've created, meaning we don't need multiple projects. We don't need to restart our progress. We'll have it right here. So just to let you know, we'll have to wait between 1.5 to 6 minutes for server setup. This part isn't charged to us. And on the right, we have access to all folders, that is all project components, as if using it on our local machine. Great! After waiting a while, we now have access to the chat with different features and everything that comes with the tool. It's that simple. When done using the tool, just hit stop, confirm, and that's it. Simple as that. How can we use the AudioCraft tool? Okay, or AudioCraft Plus, both in the cloud, right? For some reason, we can't use the open source versions of these tools, maybe because our computer can't handle it, or getting OpenRouter is too complex. We prefer using a cloud server rental service like MIMICPC, right? We'll start with a balance of 50 cents, okay? You'll find it in the description, so we'll just add a new app, all right? Here we have all the apps available in this tool. We'll simply look for the tool we want to use, which is AudioCraft. As you can see, we have Plus and normal versions, okay? Let's start the application. Within the app, we can choose the version and server type based on power and plan. affecting the cost. Bargain lets us use the server when no one else wants it, unlike Instant, okay? Or if someone's willing to pay for Instant, they get priority. This means our session might be interrupted. It hasn't happened yet, okay? But I'm telling you now. They show we have 1 hour, 2 minutes based on our plan and balance. Here we can set up auto extension, auto stop, or reminders, okay? Or a reminder. We'll create and start it, taking about 1.5 to 6 minutes to load the server. It's important to note that we won't be charged for this process, okay? On the right side, as you can see, we have access to folders. It's just like using this tool in local mode. Any project we create or modify here will be saved in the My Apps section. As you've seen, we've just added a new application. We've already added the application. We don't need to create a new project and lose progress. We can just access My Apps, log in, and keep our progress. So let's just wait for the server to start up. And there we have the Audio Craft tool. Okay, we have music gen, audio info, change lock, about, and more. Okay, so as you can see, we have the entire tool here. Okay, with all the features and options. When we're done, we'll simply click stop. Okay, we'll confirm that we want to stop the machine, and that's it. How can we use the OpenVoice tool in the cloud without needing an OpenRouter locally on our computer? Maybe we can't afford it, or our computer isn't powerful enough for it. Well, there are services like server rentals offered by MIMICPC for this purpose. You'll find the details in the description below. They're giving us 50 cents to test it out. We'll add a new app by clicking this blue button, scrolling down and selecting OpenVoice. We click Start Application and you'll see the version options there. In this case, there's only one. Server costs depend on their power and the plan we choose. The bargain plan lets us use it when no one else needs the server, so we can use it whenever it's available, okay? And if someone wants it, they'll interrupt our server, okay? On the other hand, we have Instant, where we have full priority. Lastly, we have other options to set auto extensions, stops, reminders, etc. We click Create and Start to make a project with this tool. Note that our progress in this tool won't be lost. It's saved in my app. Here's OpenVoice, running as you can see. Next time, open it from here. Don't click Add New Application, because clicking that will create a new project instead. The server will take about 1.5 to 6 minutes to start, alright? They're telling us not to worry, we won't be charged for this, which is great. As you can see on the right, we can access folders just like on a local machine, okay? So, that's perfect. Let's wait for the program to start. And there it goes, as we can see. Now we have access to OpenVoice. Got it? We can use text prompt, various languages, the microphone, and even record. Look, it's asking for permissions and such, see? Basically, everything is usable. When we're done, we just hit stop, all right? We confirm, and that's it. That's how we can use this tool. I hope you found this helpful. How can we use Ollama's chatbot, OpenRouter, on our computer, but not locally? With billions of parameters, these chatbots might be too resource intensive to run in OpenRouter mode on our own computers in local mode, either because it takes up too much space, we lack sufficient memory, or we simply can't afford a better PC, right? That's where server services or server rentals come in, okay? Like MIMICPC, for example. MIMICPC, linked in the description, offers 50 cents of initial credit to install the app. You'll add a new application, and among all the available apps, if you scroll down, you'll find both the Ollama chatbot and Ollama web UI, alright? In this case, I want to use the chatbot, so I'll click Launch App. They let us choose from different available versions and select servers ranging from 25 cents to $2 per hour, right? As you can see, server pricing is based on its power and the plan we choose for the server. Instant means we have top priority, while Bargain means we can use the server as long as no one with instant mode is trying to use it. So if someone else wants to use it, we'll lose priority, okay? And our session will be interrupted. It's important to note that, well, they show us based on our chosen plan, see? We have 57 minutes available based on our balance. If we click more options, we can set how long we want to use this tool, okay? Or how long we plan to use it, alright? Then for the auto extension, having an auto stop device or reminder, we'd click Create and Start, and you'll see the server launch. Remember, we don't need to create a new project every time we want to use this or any other tool. If we want to save our chats, messages, or any other progress we've made in the program, we just go to MIMICPC, then to My Apps. And as you can see, I have all the apps I've already started here, and Chatbot is one of them, okay? Right now, Chatbot is starting up, so obviously I can't use it yet, right? But we just click to launch the app from here, keeping our progress and reopening our existing project. As you can see, it'll take about 1.5 to 6 minutes for setup. Don't worry, this process won't be charged to us, okay? On the right side, we have access to the Ollama folders, alright? It's just like running it locally, got it? So after waiting that 1.5 to 6 minutes, the server will start and we'll have access to Ollama, okay? They ask what model we want, and as you can see, there are two options, right? Llama 2 or Llama 3, okay? It asks what kind of prompts we want to write. If we want it more or less creative, got it. So we have access to everything in a Llama, right? That's it, pretty simple. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time, okay? To finish, just hit start yes and you're done.